Okay. Thanks for coming, guys. Obviously, last Saturday, there's not a whole lot of words to say. They beat us. We got beat by a team that played really well. We had opportunities in that game, obviously. Didn't come away with 7 a couple times. Turned the ball in the red zone. Gave them a short field. I think there was opportunities I thought really early to put the game away. Was to score a couple of drives. But they're good. They were a good football team. They were much impressed. They were, much improved. They were physical, and they put together a 14-play drive, obviously, to win it. And I think if you're going to be good, you got to win the close ones, and you can't let too many of those can't happen. Losing 24-23. You got to find ways to get that job done. So I thought that there was some good things. There were some guys that played well in the game. I thought at times defensively we looked dominating again. At times offensively we walked down the field with ease. Just not doing it enough, and we're not being consistent enough doing it. So I think we're close. I think we're getting better, and that's what it is. It's a process, and we got to continue to improve. And this is conference play, though. And now it's you got to show up and find a way to win the ball game. But I think we're still getting better. And like I said, I don't think nobody in our group is panicked. As far as that, did we again? Is it 2 games in a row that we expected to win and we didn't? Yeah, and we're 2-2. But there's reasons why you win ball games, and there's reasons why you lose them. And we did a lot of the things, the reasons why you lose them, and didn't do enough of the reasons why you win them. So that's what you get. So hopefully we'll learn from it. It'll be a lesson learned, and we'll get better. And I got faith in our coaches. They're going to keep coaching hard, and our kids got a great attitude, mentality, and they're going to keep working. And we're looking forward to getting on the play and start conference play and get on that field. And we've got a 3rd road trip in a row, going to San Antonio and like I said, it's conference play. It's when you everybody's opportunity to step up and play a little harder, play a little better. And we also got to learn how to handle that about expecting people's best, and they're playing a little better than what you saw on film, and we got to learn how to handle that. Any questions?
I guess maybe it's because it happened in such high-profile circumstances, but again, another game-ending drive where you guys couldn't get off the field. And I know you've got to look at yourself really hard and what you're doing in those circumstances. And I don't know that you can compare New Hampshire to this one, but it's still a problem for you guys playing the 2-minute defense.
Yeah, I don't know if it's that. I mean, there was a lack of they held the ball for 11 minutes in the 3rd quarter. We couldn't get off the field. There were some mistakes throughout that ball game. That again, that's the process of any time. I mean, I don't care if you won the game. You're still looking at where can you make the improvements, and still, it's not a lot of physically getting beat, which is always a positive. But at the same time, it's also frustrating. It's frustrating for the players too. It's sometimes they know what to do. They've been there before. They've done it before. So there's frustration across the board. But if you handle it right, it could be a launch pad to turn itself into something special. So.
Not nearly as many penalties this game, but it seemed like when you guys got
Inopportunity penalty, at the wrong times.
Like bad times.
Yeah, we got 2 inside the red zone, make us kick the first field goal. Because I was going for it at 4th and 2, wherever down there, we get a penalty there. We got another penalty. Had a turnover inside the 25. I'm talking about we're going in to score at 25. We get a batted ball and a pick, and then we turn. There's just a lot of things like that. When you look at the stats, when you look at the game and how we played, going in that last drive, we had 460 yards offense and they had 274. And still, they marched it down and finished with 330 or whatever. But just a lot of, like I said, you can go back to missed opportunities and things you got to do to win games. I mean, it don't matter on all that stuff. You got to find another they got the ball in 14 plays, and we had about 5 or 6 opportunities in that drive to finish it, and didn't, and that's how you lose ball games. So.
still talk highly of your players, so, you know, you also have to look at your coaches and can you talk about how you self-evaluate yourselves after
Well,
two losses like
yeah,
this?
yeah.
Kind of tough
Well,
on
when you
people.
lose, you know, obviously everything's up for question. You know, you better evaluate everything you're doing from practicing to prep to what's being called to what you're in. You know, and we have, and we're going through it. You know, still a process of that. But you know, obviously, anytime you lose, you got to believe obviously in the things that you're doing. You know, and we do. We believe firmly in the things we're doing. You know, we may have to tweak a thing here or two there to do that. But you know, I told the players on Sunday, you know, one of the things about losing is that when you lose, everybody's got an opinion and everybody's got a reason why you're losing. You know, we're sitting here on the film and we're watching it. You know, you can't use cop-outs or excuses of, you know, this and that or why. You know, this guy's not executing and getting the job done. You know, and I'm not talking about physically not getting beat, but if you know, like I said, we got some really good players. When they execute, they're great players. We're a great football team. When we don't block a guy at the point of attack, or when we don't block a guy on 3rd and 3, and let him come through untouched and make the tackle, we're not very good. I mean, obviously we not just as an individual, but we look like we stink. You know. When you drop passes, when you get on the ball in the perimeter and we got a touchdown, and there's a guy, you know, we don't block him. Well, that's just good enough to lose, and that's what I think. You know, teams that do that often, you know, there's pretty same things that are consistent across the board. Not getting things done on a consistent basis. You do it right most of the time, and you know, most of the time is just good enough to get you beat.
What jumped out of it was the offense. If you rush for that many yards, usually you don't lose.
Right. Oh, we shouldn't have. I mean, we really shouldn't have. You know, but you got to score when you're in the red zone, and you get the ball in the 25. You got to execute plays and get in the end zone. You got to get 7, not 3. You know, defensively, you can't let them hold the ball for 11 minutes in the 3rd quarter. I mean, we got to get off the field. They didn't come with points, but they held the ball for way too long. You're talking about, you know, that time. I mean, they beat us by almost 10 minutes in time of possession. That's huge. I mean, that was huge. You know, that's, you know, 3 or 4 more drives in that game, and yeah, well, you know, we scored in the last 2. It gives 3 or 4 more. Maybe we scored, you know, all 4 of them. You know, you don't know, but you got to find. You know, I have a lot. I mean, I have a lot of confidence in our guys. I have a lot of confidence in what we're doing. And like I said. At times we're doing a lot of things right, but you just got to be more consistent with it.
Did you see any pattern, you know, in their last drive, if I can count it right, they converted 4 times on 3rd down.
Yeah, that's not good.
And
Yeah.
a couple of you say long, you know, 6,
Yeah.
8, 10 yards. I mean, you feel like you got them in a disadvantage, and
Yeah.
they didn't.
Yep.
You know, just see a growing trend of what was the breakdowns in some of those instances why you couldn't get off the field.
Multiple of the things. You know, we lost contain a couple times. The guy extends the play, gets out of the pocket, extends the play. You know, a couple of them were nice catches. You know, a couple guys we don't. You know, when he does move the pocket, we don't. You know, stay on our guy. Our eyes turn. You know, and these are players that, again, the same players that have made a lot of great plays for us. So. I don't know. I mean, I think in the history, I've been with these guys enough that we're going to get better as the season goes. We know that. We probably sat in the same spot the last 2 years in a row. You know, like I said, you know, sometimes they get caught. People, you know, thinking, you know, it's not just about players lining up and we're going to go overwhelm you. That doesn't happen. When you do things right, good things happen. So.
Incarnate Word has obviously struggled mightily on offense this year without their quarterback.
Yeah.
Are they tough to get a read on? They're using 2 different quarterbacks. It's probably the same system, but how do you assess that team?
Yeah, they're struggling a little bit on the offense side of the ball right now. They've got some good players. They played us tough last year with the majority of the same guys. I think it was 21-3 at the end of the third. What do I expect? I expect to go over there and they're going to play lights out, and they're going to probably play the best football they've played all year. And it's conference play, and we got the bullseye, and I really expect them to play well. Now, whether they'll do the same things they've been doing, I don't know. They may change a little bit. They may try to do something to get the ball moving. We're going to have to be able to adjust. And that's part of it.
Did it look different at all with the other quarterback in there?
One of them's a little more athletic than the other guy. Yeah, but they're trying to execute their offense. They're well coached. Larry King does a good job. He's been around for a long time, and so you can see that they're well coached in all three phases. Right now, I don't, like I said, it's always the same thing with me. It's not really about them. We go in there and we put a hat on a hat, and block the guys we're supposed to block, and do the thing, and catch the ball when we throw it. We'll be pretty good. If we stay in our gaps and take care of our jobs and cover the guys, we're supposed to cover, well, then we're gonna have a pretty good day.
What are you seeing from them defensively that kind of stands out to you?
They're 3-4 defense. They're going to bring pressure on third down. We've got to be able to do that. We're going to have to be able to throw the ball hot and get it out fast. We're going to have to beat man coverage because they're going to be in it. It's important that our timing's right. The throws are tight. When you play man coverage, the throws got to be a little tighter, and you got to be able to catch balls with people on your back. And like I said, you got to be able to pick up pressure. One thing we hadn't done real well last couple weeks. We got pressure. They've rushed. We've been sacked probably more times in the last 2 ball games than we were sacked last year. And that's not just that. It's how many times they've made. Brian can't go through his progression and go to his second read or third read because he don't have time. So we got to do a much better job of that.
Are they impressive against Abilene Christian defensively?
Well,
because
yeah.
Considering what Abilene had just done, I was kind of impressed with what the numbers looked like.
Yeah, well, that's kind of college football, or football in general. It's every week, it's about how well you execute in those 3 hours on that field, And sometimes you blow a guy out, sometimes you play a tight ball game. But I thought defensively they played pretty tough. Yeah, 21-0 versus Abilene. Abilene's defense is pretty good, obviously, and they got after them. And again, they got off schedule and got a lot of second long, third and longs, which that's not a great time to call. That's not a great situation for an offensive coordinator to call plays. But I thought, defensively they're aggressive and they're going to come after you, and I expect nothing but the same.
You're pretty consistent with win or lose. This week is a new week, new opponent, that kind of thing. You don't really dwell. The fact that this conference this week, how much does it help maybe alleviate some of the sting to lose a game that way and get ready for another week?
You hope so. We saw him Sunday night. Didn't see him yesterday at the Players at all, and we haven't seen him yet today. But I think our guys are pretty resilient, and I think they're ready just to keep. That's all they got. The only thing our players will stay focused, just keep practicing, keep working. Stay with the plan, just execute it better. I think we're gonna be in good shape.